Namaskar. Welcome to the second session of Ancient Indian Art and Culture. I am Professor Netra Todkar from Department of Fashion Technology. Topic 5. Sculptures in Ancient India. Sculptures are three-dimensional work of art created by shaping materials into forms that represent objects, figures, or abstract concepts. Types of sculptures and material used to make them. Carving is done using wood and stones like marble, granite, and limestone. Modeling method done using clay and plaster. Casting method done using metals like bronze, iron, and aluminium. Styles and forms of sculptures. Figurative style, representing people, animal, or object. They are done mostly in stones. Relief style, sculptures that are attached to a background surface, creating a raised design. Abstract style focuses on shapes, forms, colors to convey concepts. And environmental sculptures, large scale works in landscapes or public spaces. Functions of sculptures. Sculptures are done for decorative function, religious and ritualistic functions, commemorative, meaning honoring individuals, events, or achievements, and expressive function, conveying emotions, concepts, or ideas. Notable styles of ancient Indian sculptures: the monolithic temples of Mahabalipuram in Tamil Nadu, sculptures of Hampi, Karnataka, a bronze statue of Netra made in Chola style, that is around 1800 years ago. Sculptures from the Rangapura Jain temple, Rajasthan, built by a wealthy Jain merchant in 15th century. Hoysala temple sculptures. These and many more sculpture styles. The list is endless of ancient Indian sculptures. Summary of sculptures. Ancient Indian sculptures are celebrated for their spiritual depth, intricate craftsmanship, and symbolic representation of religious and mythological themes. Their blend of realism, idealism, and devotion continues to influence Indian art and culture. Topic 6. Iconography in Ancient India. Iconography is the study and interpretation of visual symbols and images, especially in art, that convey specific meanings, themes, or concepts. Like in the pictures given, the first picture we can say that it is Lord Shiva, all because we can see the Damru, the Trishula, and the Nandi in it. So when we know these symbols, we can easily say that it is Lord Shiva. In the second picture, we can recognize the sculpture as Lord Vishnu because he is seated on a 5-head snake. So, iconography involves analyzing the symbolic content of artworks such as religious, mythological, historical, or cultural symbols to understand their deeper significance. Iconography plays a crucial role in understanding and interpreting ancient Indian sculptures. Techniques used in iconography: identification of symbols, recognizing and cataloging common symbols, then conceptual analyzing, examining the cultural, historical, and religious backgrounds of the artwork, textual correlation, relating the imaginary to contemporary text and scriptures. These techniques help art historians and scholars interpret the deeper meanings behind visual representations in art, particularly in religious and cultural contexts. Summary of iconography. Iconography is the study of symbols and imaginary in art. It is essentially for understanding the visual language of ancient Indian sculptures as it provides the tools to interpret the symbolic and cultural meanings embedded in these artworks. Topic 7. The richness of ancient Indian literature. Literature refers to written work, particularly those that are considered to have artistic or intellectual value. It encompasses a wide range of types like fiction, poetry, drama, essay, and non-fiction. Types of literature: religious and philosophical texts like Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas; epic literature of ancient India like Mahabharata, Ramayana; classical poetry and drama like Shakuntala and Meghdut, the Cloud Messenger, written by Kalidas; and secular and scientific texts like Arthashastra and Yajurved texts. We can see an example of Sushrut Samhita. It's a book where numerous details about surgical instruments and surgery are written here. This text belongs or has been written 5,000 years ago. Themes that are used in ancient Indian literature: religious and spiritual themes, epic and heroic narratives, love and human relationships, moral and ethical lessons, nature and the divine. Styles in ancient Indian literature: epic poetry, that are stories in poetry form; classic poetries; didactic literature, that is written in dialogue format; devotional poetry; and philosophical dialogues. Ancient Indian universities. When we speak about ancient literature, then these universities were the main source of all the literature. The very first ancient Indian university is Nalanda University, located in present-day Bihar, India. It was a renowned center of learning that flourished from 5th century CE until 12th century, attracting scholars from across Asia, where all subjects including medicine and surgery were taught. The other ancient Indian universities are Ratnagiri University, Vikramshila University, Pushpagiri University, Takshashila University, and many more. India was the only country to have university education in ancient times. Summary of literature. Ancient Indian literature is not only a source of religious and philosophical knowledge, but also a reflection of societal norms, values, and intellectual achievements of ancient India. It has had a lasting influence on Indian culture and continues to be studied as a lot of knowledge about life, ethics, and spirituality that is written in them. Topic 8. Introduction to Ancient Indian Architecture. Architecture is the art and science of designing and constructing buildings and other physical structures. Our ancestors had built many wonders in India which are mind-blowing technically and aesthetically. They are all very good examples of advanced science and technology used during times when mathematics was still a mystery to many. Let's see few examples of brilliant ancient Indian architecture. Khidrapur temple belonging to Kolhapur. We can see at certain days the moon can be reflected or seen exactly at the center of this architecture. Sun Temple, Konark, Odisha. The Sun Temple at Konark represents the majestic chariot of the sun god Surya being drawn across by the sky by 7 horses. The wheels of the Konark temple are designed as sundial. There is a pair of 12 wheels. Each wheel has 8 spokes representing 8 prahars, that is sections of the day. The shadow cast by the central spoke can be used to calculate the time with precision during daylight hours. That is, the spokes of this dial shows the exact time during day. The wheels are also adorned with detailed carvings, including scenes of daily life, flora and fauna, mythical creatures, and geometric patterns. The Brihadeshwara Temple of Tanjavur, Tamil Nadu. This temple is a marvel of Dravidian architecture, reflecting the grandeur of the Chola dynasty. It was built in 11th century, that is about 1000 years ago. The temple is not only a place of worship, but also is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Vimana, or the top tower of the Sanctum, that is Garbhagruha, is the most striking feature of this temple, which is placed at a height of 216 feet. And the weight of this Vimana is about 80 tons, that is 80,000 kilos, and it is made about of one single stone. We wonder that how this massive stone or massive Vimana was placed over the tower. It is assumed that a ramp of about 6 kilometers was made, and the massive Vimana was carried there using horses and elephants. The Kailash Temple, Ellora Caves in Sambhajinagar, Maharashtra. It is a rock cut temple carved out of a single monolithic rock and dedicated to Lord Shiva. It was built by King Krishna I in 8th century CE, that is around 1200 years ago. It is constructed from top to bottom. Basically, any structure, the foundation is built first and then the structure over it. But it is the only temple or only structure which was built from top or started to construct from top to the bottom. It is laid in an area of about 60,000 square feet, and the temple is about 98 feet tall, making it the largest monolithic structure in the world. It took 18 years to complete, and about 20,000 or 2 lakh tons of rock was removed from the entire area to build the temple. Meenakshi Amma Temple, Tamil Nadu, also called as the Madurai Temple. Rising up to 170 feet in the air, the 14 adorned towers of Meenakshi Temple are covered in an impressive display of around 33,000 sculptures. We can see 33,000 images or figures sculptured, carved on the towers of this temple. There's another hall which is named as Thousand Pillars Hall. All the pillars are symmetrical and are placed at equal distance from each other. The Hoysala architecture, or the temples belonging to the Hoysala architecture. These pillars stand out for their technical precision, intricacy, and aesthetic beauty. In the second image, these pillars are also famous for their lath-turned polished finish, achieved using advanced stone cutting techniques. It was built in between 11th and 14th centuries. The Modhera Sun Temple, Gujarat, dedicated to sun god. It was built in 11th century by King Bhimdeva I of the Solanki dynasty. The temple is oriented in such a way that the first rays of sun illuminate the main deity on the equinoxes, that is, days of equal sunlight and night darkness. Pinhole effect of Virupaksha temple, Hampi, Karnataka. The pinhole effect is a natural optical phenomena where we can see an inverted image of the image that is present opposite to the hole. So we can see the image of Gopura reflected here on the inside wall of the temple. So this is the main Gopura, and here you can see the reflected image. Sahasralinga Lake of Patan, Gujarat. It is a massive man-made reservoir which is also a step well and has a network of canals and channels providing water for irrigation and drinking to the entire area. Rainwater harvesting system is also there in this lake. Angkor Wat Temple, Cambodia. Angkor Wat Temple was built by King Suryavarma II of the Khmer Empire in early 12th century. This temple was originally dedicated to God Vishnu. Adalaj Vav, Gujarat. This vav or a step well was built by Rani Rubabai. The domes and the ceilings are decorated with intricate carvings. It's a 5-story deep step well, has 3 entrance staircases, has pillared pavilions, open to sky central wall, has a natural cooling effect. The step well was also used as cultural and social space and has many sculptures carved on it. Importance of architecture. Ancient Indian architecture is renowned for its diversity and spiritual significance, reflecting the rich cultural and religious heritage of India. Ancient Indian architecture is noted for its use of local materials, advanced construction techniques, and harmonious integration with nature, often serving as both religious and cultural centers. Summarizing this session, we learned about sculptures, its iconography, literature, and ancient Indian architecture. This session has enlightened us about how great the art culture of India is. They all reflect how deep knowledge of mathematics, artistic skill, and execution was present with our ancestors. There are about 2 lakh ancient temples with great architecture in present India and many in Indian subcontinent. Did we ever know that these many wonders are our Indian culture? All the Indian values, art and culture have positive energy and human values as a central theme. They teach us to be human and believe in the supernatural energy. Taj Mahal, Red Fort, Qutub Minar, these all are very recent buildings built by Mughal and have nil energy influence. These buildings, technically, culturally, and humanity wise, stand nowhere compared to our ancient Indian art culture. When people say India, Taj Mahal comes to mind in the first instance, which, as a matter of fact, does not reflect our culture. There are many more marvels greater than that in India, which signifies our culture. Let's make an effort to learn and appreciate our Indian culture and know the difference between what is art and what is not. Here we come to the end of session of ancient Indian art and culture. Dhanyavad.